Hello everyone, we're back to Tiny Bunny. Had to take a break from that depressing bit from the last episode, and I decided to catch up on a lot of things. Also, I'm part of a show, so you notice I've been uploading a lot, but not as much as I want to. But it's okay. It is what it is. I also lost a subscriber. Well, to the subscriber who wants to subscribe to me, I hope you have a wonderful time, and thank you for stopping by and showing your support for the channel. But other than that, take care. And God bless. Enjoy the video, and we'll get started. Episode 4. Stomp your hooves and wait.
Я сама не поверила, но Лилия Павловна на работу не вышла. Контрольная отменяется.
I remembered Katya. She was both beautiful and mean. Katya, the first girl in our class whose body started maturing to the envy of all the other female students. The main source of gossip, a snake and a bitch. I continued scribbling in my notebook, drawing rows of pines and two small figures, flying between the treetops in the full moon. Shivers ran up to my shoulders, sneaking playfully under the hem of my shirt. Even though soaring through the sky felt so simple, there was still something evil weighing me down. Was it the stolen signet ring, or the heavy look those missing kids from the notice board were giving me? The culprit was definitely still in the village. They were hiding something horrible under a mask of piousness.
А что ты рисуешь?
Embarrassed, I covered the notebook, as if there was something shameful about the figures above the forest.
Да ничего, так, дурака валяю.
Paulina put her elbows on the desk. I had already forgotten how lightful and graceful she was, just like a violin. I wish she could also jump around with us after stripping away her mask of fake mundanity. I smiled, imagining Paulina's skirt flapping in the wind, the stars sparkling all around us, her asking in bewilderment whether it is all a dream, and myself telling her that it doesn't matter. Paulina's expression grew dark again.
Ужасно еще и то, что Катю мне жалеть сложно. Я правда ищу в себе сострадание, но вспоминаю ее поступки и...
Paulina shook her head.
Я чудовище, да?
No, I thought. You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever met. I decided not to say that out loud.
Плохо, наверное, что исчезновение анкеты расстроило меня больше, чем пропажа одноклассницы.
Ты потеряла анкету?
Да, и кто-то сейчас читает чужие секреты.
Oh. Yes, the forest, I thought, imagining the crooked branches turning notebook pages, touching the childish handwriting with their icy twigs.
Надеюсь, ее найдут.
I wasn't sure whether she spoke about Katya or her notebook. I wanted to ask her about it, but then I noticed Paulina's intense stare directed at me.
Что?
Ты будто изменился.
I smoothed my hair flat, surprised.
Просто не выспался.
Сегодня ты точно какая-то другая мелодия. Очень древняя, таинственная.
Oh! I thought about the flute's melody, streaming between the bushy treetops.
Надеюсь, ты никому не рассказал про наш вчерашний разговор?
Что ты?
She nodded as if acknowledging that she can fully trust me. I wasn't sure whether I merited such trust. Her hair cascaded down around her shoulders. The smell was so wonderful that it sent me flying toward the glowing stars of my inner cosmos without any magic. At that moment, I felt Vyasha's piercing stare. He was clearly watching us. I took my glasses off so I wouldn't be able to see his nasty smirk. Yet a picture of Romka's knife gleamed before my mind's eye. My palms became became sweaty.
Опять уснул?
Полина,
Tell her, a voice in my head whispered to me, and to hell with the consequences.
кажется, Ромка на тебя глаз положил.
Думаешь, я не знаю?
Откуда?
Считай, это моя интуиция. Только вот Пятифанов мне безразличен.
That wonderful news made me more confident.
Мне кажется, ему не хватит мозгов, чтобы завоевать тебя.
Polina flashed me an alluring smile.
Хорошо, что у меня есть ты. А может, погуляем после уроков? Дедушка чувствует себя лучше. Я могу задержаться вечером.
I signed my death sentence when I replied.
Конечно, давай.
Ah, fuck! I don't get a choice.
Тогда до встречи.
She leaned forward and looked at me with her piercing eyes again, then mumbled as if guessing.
Что-то из мусорского? Нет, пожалуй.
She left, and in her place, Romka's underling started drilling me with his eyes. His thumb slid under his Adam's apple as if saying, "You're dead." The bell rang. The rest of the classes flew by, and I was finally able to leave the school. Small whirlwinds rushed across the schoolyard like spinning tops. Big white flakes fell from the sky. Streetlights gleamed in the semi-dark. Their shine crystallized in the cold, became firm and pointy. A dog whined in the distance, making me think of poor Zolka. Paulina stood at the school steps. The wind played with her hair.
Я уже отвык от городского шума. Здесь всегда так тихо.
О, а я мечтаю о какофонии.
А чём?
My companion burst out laughing.
Какофония — это случайное сочетание звуков. Дедушка учит находить мелодию во всем.
Он, наверное, классный.
Не то слово. Скоро я вас познакомлю.
Ты меня в гости приглашаешь?
А ты против?
A nasty whistle swept across the yard, interrupting me. Two silhouettes materialized from the snowfall, hands inside their pockets and heads kept low. The way that tough duo walked towards us didn't bode well for me.
А ну руки убрал от нее, живо! Полин, ты как? Он тебя не тронул?
Мы все видели, на! Видели что?
Что ты ее в лес вести собрался, психопат! Как Катьку!
В последний момент успели, на.
Paulina's frustrated voice flew across the yard like a bird.
Да что вы мелите?
А ты не в курсе? Как только этот чепушило сюда переехал, сразу народ стал пропадать.
Ага, я вот сам видел, как он вчера Катю провожать вызвался и в лес уволок.
I tried to retort.
Врешь! Я эту Катьку терпеть не мог!
А, вот потому ее и грохнул.
Все сходится, на.
I was taken aback by this injustice. The only positive here was the fact that Romka and Biasha made for terrible actors. Their lives were C at best if I were to rate them.
Повезло тебе, что мы с ментами не икшаемся. А то бы с радостью тебя, маньяка, сдали.
Ничего, ничего. Ща проведем с ним воспитательную беседу, на. Держи его!
Romka moved toward me, smirking.
Значит, Катя тебе не нравилась, да? Конечно, кто еще мог ее порешить?
Ты, например.
I looked at Paulina in amazement. Romka froze in place with his fists raised.
В смысле?
Катя, при всем уважении, никого не любила. Думаешь, Рома, она про тебя сплетни не распускала? Что твой отец в тюрьме сидел, что он тебя бьет?
Romka's face turned red, and he started flapping his lips like a fish out of water. Paulina continued to speak in a voice that rang with anger.
А ты, Бяша, сам-то где вчера вечером пропадал? Катя говорила, что ты с приветом стал, как на черный гараж наткнулся.
Biasha retreated, his face becoming deathly white in the cavity of his hood.
Так может, это ты тот психопат, что Катю украл?
Biasha let out a voice that almost turned into a squeal. Then he turned around and wobbled his way toward the gate, shaking his head. Wow, I thought. She dealt with Biasha so easily.
Что, один остался, Ромео недоделанный? Какую еще гнусность выдумаешь, чтобы меня удивить,
Roma gulped, clearly discouraged.
Цирк устроить хотел? Героем представиться? Только вот не ведут себя так герои. И актер ты, Рома, липовый.
Да этот очкарик!
Во всем лучше тебя.
God damn! She said that and did the most astonishing thing. She grabbed my hand.
Пойдем, Антон.
We passed the stunned Romka. I felt somewhat bad for him, but I also obviously felt immense joy. He didn't stop us, just stood there and stared into the growing blizzard. When we crossed the gate, I jumped up and exclaimed,
Как ты его?
Paulina flashed me an embarrassed smile.
Ну, знаешь, как дедушка говорит, с волками жить, по волчьи выть.
Wow, that's a good saying. I like your grandpa already.
Он у тебя философ.
Краевед был раньше. Он уже давно на пенсии, а в последнее время ему серьезно не здоровится.
I gave her an empathetic nod. I kept sneaking glances at Paulina. She was like a precious gem, its sides gleaming, shimmering, changing ever so slightly. What? Her eyes, full of innocent laughter, asked me. Nothing, I replied without speaking.
Ты храбрый. Мне нравится.
Храбрый? Стоял там, язык проглотив.
Но стоял же, не сбежал. Я до сих пор поражаюсь, как ты нашел в себе смелость послать, а тем более ударить Бабурина.
Ради тебя я готов на многое.
Вот, я же говорю. Изъясняешься словами из романов. Ради тебя, моя госпожа.
Polina started giggling. I fake pouted, but I couldn't keep myself from smiling in the end. The village looked abandoned, desolate. Rickety fences, ravines full of garbage. This place probably looks nice in the summer since it's full of greenery, but during winter, under the icy crust, under the snowy blanket, dogs barked and clanged their chains behind the fences, but they grew quiet the moment we reached the next house.
Представь, что это призраки цепями звенят.
О, а я обожаю сказки про призраков. Дедушка часто мне их рассказывает.
She stopped in front of a small but cozy-looking house with a snow-covered roof, then put her hand on the small gate. Her eyes piercing me as if trying to peek into the depths of my soul.
Вот я все вспоминаю дедушку. Говорю, какой он хороший, заботливый, умный. Но это только половина правды. В последнее время он немного...
She paused, searching for the right words.
Чудной? Да, пожалуй. Стал таким с годами, так что ничему не удивляйся.
Так точно, ничему не удивляться.
Вольно!
We walked toward the house on a thin, clean path. Paulina unlocked the door. The long hallway was full of shadows. I'm getting nervous every time she mentions her grandpa now. I'm not, nope. The door slammed shut behind our backs, cutting us off from the roaring wind and all the other outside sounds. God. The place became so silent that I could hear Paulina's heart beating. I wanted to cover with my hand and fill it with my palm, with my lifelines. Oops.
Ты всегда так застываешь? Как будто у тебя в голове стоп-кран нажали.
Фантазия рисует всякие картинки.
А, понимаю.
She took off her coat and hanged it on a wall hook.
Раздевайся, разувайся. Я пока в комнате приберусь. Дедушка, бывает, вещи свои оставляет, где попало. Я быстро.
She floated away, light as a butterfly. Another butterfly, of a steel kind, had a real chance of floating inside my gut in the near future. I took off my coat, untied my shoelaces. A tiny squeak reached my ears. If one were to stand in front of the phone, the wallpaper patterns would look like a set of watchful eyes. So this is the place Paulina called me from. She stood right here, under the electric meter, among the shadows, twirling the phone cord. Maybe she even played with the light switch, turning the lights off at times and speaking to me in the dark. God, the noises are killing me right now. No. Oh, fuck. God. I can't go back. That's not what I wanted to do. Wow. There's so much junk here, just like in a junk shop. Or like at the village cemetery dump, where people throw away plastic flowers, splinters from rotten crosses, and dirty stripes with gilded words of condolences. Why did I think Paulina's grandpa brought all this from a cemetery dump? Those don't have toys. Or a tambourine like in those books about northern shamans. And this, what was it called again? A dream catcher, I think. It didn't catch any dreams, but it did catch a haymaker spider. And the stench. No wonder I can hear flies buzzing in this place, even in the middle of winter. It smells like thawed lard and wet soil. I guess you just get used to it if you stay here long enough. Thank God. Please back away. Back away from that. I know this painting. Paganini? The guy was so good at playing the violin that other people had decided he sold his soul to the devil. This portrait was drawn by Nikolai Please correct me if I'm wrong. Fechin or Fechin? He was a famous Russian painter that moved to America after the revolution and became famous there too. Wow, Paganini has such long fingers. And such a piercing stare. What is he looking at? Maybe he did sell his soul after all. Would Paulina sell hers, I wonder? I don't get why adults hang something like this in their homes. Crooked, sharp outgrowths. I've read that animals don't get hurt when their horns that had already hardened get trimmed. Still, it's the same as plastering your wall with clipped fingernails. They're also cornified objects that were once part of a living organism. The reflections in this mirror are so sharp and deep, my gaze drowns in it. It feels more like a doorway than a mirror, with an identical room with skis and sticky-to-the-touch wallpaper behind it. And the electric meter, which barely worked during the last months, as if Paulina and her grandpa spend their evening in complete darkness. And then, what? Huh? Phew. God damn it. Phew. Just a hunting trophy. Fucking hell. I looked into the deeper parts of the house while taking off my boots. Semi-dark mastic corner at the end of the corridor. Something moved toward me, making the dry floorboards squeak. Squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak. The sound grew louder. I realized that I stepped back toward the door without thinking.
Полина!
A wheelchair appeared from around the corner. A stocky old man protruded from the darkness.
Ты, должно быть, одноклассник моей Полли.
Да, Антон Петров.
We shook hands. I burped. We shook hands. His grip was surprisingly firm.
Очень приятно. Очень. А я Харитон. Греческое имя значит щедрый.
Isn't it nice that you meet people and they explain to you the meaning of their names?
А твое имя? Знаешь, что обозначает?
Никогда не задумывался.
От латинского «антео» — тот, кто вступает в бой.
I chuckled in reply. Apparently, my name has brave roots.
А Полина?
Полина французского происхождения. Если не ошибаюсь, солнечная.
Of course. The sunlight, the enchanting views of France, the Parisian sky. All of that sounded like Paulina.
Вы так много знаете об именах.
Я каждой своей кукле особенное имя давал.
Кукле?
What?
Полина не рассказывала? Я же кукловодом работал при театре. Потом сторож с сигаретой тлеющей уснул, сам погиб, и театр сгорел до основания.
Oh man, he's crying.
Куклы мои сгорели.
Жаль.
I was pretty sure that Paulina told me her grandpa was a local historian. He squinted.
А знаешь ли ты, Петров Антон, что в старину у людей два имени было? Настоящее и то, что они называли незнакомцем. Считалось, что подлинное имя, попав к нехорошим людям, могло обернуться против человека. По имени насылали хвори и даже смерть.
Ого.
Вот тебе и ого! И зверям имена придумывали не просто так.
That's a clue.
Заяц от литовского «зайсти», прыгун, то есть, а волк — старославянское «влек», тот, кто таскает.
Zayas, Volk. Keratin explains the etymology for the words for bunny and wolf in Russian. The English translation used transcribed versions of those words to ensure the comparison to other languages in this line makes sense phonetically. Keratin drove closer and crossed his hands on his chest. I wondered to myself where Paulina's parents were. She never spoke about her mom, only about her grandpa. I decided to ask a question to continue the conversation.
А медведь?
О, имя медведя неизвестно. Наши предки так боялись этого зверя, что предпочли забыть слово, которым его величали. Оно просто сгинуло из языка. Вместо него осталось более позднее прозвище — «ведающий медом».
One who oversees honey. A pun based on the two syllables that make up the Russian word for bear, one of which honey, while the other means to have knowledge of something, to oversee something.
Интересно.
The old man's smile became wider, revealing a stockade of metal implants. He raised his hand and waved it in air like a rake that was scratching at empty space.
Скирлы, скирлы, скирлы.
The squeaking sound made me shrink instinctively.
То я медведь на липовой ноге, на березовой клюке.
Here comes the bear. This excerpt is from an old Russian folktale that tells the story of a bear that steals turnips from a village. During one of his thefts, the bear gets attacked by an old peasant who chops off one of the bear's hind legs and gives it to his wife to make a soup from the meat and cloth from the wool. The bear later returns to the village with a fake hind leg to exact his revenge on the family, only to fall into the cellar inside their house and gets killed by the villagers.
Все по селам спят, по деревням спят. Одна баба не спит, на моей коже сидит. Мою шерстку придет, мое мяско жрет.
If this was what Paulina warned me about, I had already broken my promise. It's not like I got surprised, more like I became seriously concerned.
По легенде, именно в нашей деревне приключилась эта страшная сказка, как и многие другие. Вот, к примеру, в прошлом веке простому люду тяжко пришлось. Денег у них тогда мало было, а еды и того меньше, точь-в-точь, как сейчас. Подались тогда крестьяне разбойничать, тайгу обворовывать. Кто карася ухватит, а кто и гуся. А главный егерь мало того, что не препятствовал, так еще в первых рядах браконьерствовал. Самым зажиточным стал на селе. Погреб того и гляди лопнет. Так и кричал егерь на всю округу: «Я в лесу хозяин!» Обзавелся он, значит, семьей, слугами, да каким-никаким имением. И на радостях пир закатил горой аж до самой ночи. А как 12 пробило, собаки залаяли. «Идите, — кричит егерь слугам, — собакам кости бросьте!» Через время в ворота застучали. «Идите, — кричит семье, — гостей прогоните!» Остался он за столом один. Никто воротиться не спешит. Слышит, собаки завыли и смолкли. И тут со страшной силой в дверь забарабанили. Бах, бах, бах!
I licked my parched lips and instinctively looked over the old man's shoulder, praying in my mind that Paulina would come back soon and interrupt this eerie monologue. Yet only shadows writhed behind Keratin's back.
Егерь от страха едва живой в погреб помчался. Замком щелк, вдруг голос из-за двери. «Милый, это я, жена твоя, отвори! В жизнь не открою!» Голос стал грубее, напористее. «Изголодалась я, любимый, дай хоть чего-то из закромов!» «Уйди, уйди, Христом заклинаю!» — закричал егерь и упал молиться. Тогда голос, как гром, грянул: «Целиком не выйдешь, хоть кусок мне отрежь!» Егерь вне себя от ужаса просидел в подвале до первых петухов. А как показаться отважился, то нашел своих слуг и родных повешенными на собственных кишках вдоль тракта. Глядь, а в имении уже дикие звери хозяйничают. Потому что нету тайги границ. Она частично в нашем мире, отчасти там, где ночь никогда не кончается. Егерь пытался, сломя голову, бежать из проклятой деревни, но истинный хозяин леса настиг его в пути.
I spoke in a shaky voice.
И что же с ним сделал этот хозяин леса?
The old man tilted his head and burst out laughing.
Спроси лучше, чего он не сделал.
Антон!
The old man's eyes pinned me to the door leaf.
Антон, проходи в комнату!
The old man stayed silent for a moment. Then he smiled as if nothing ever happened and rolled his wheelchair back.
Ну, заболтал я тебя. Ступай.
I brushed off my stupor and minced across the corridor.
Приятно было познакомиться.
И мне, Петров Антон, и мне.
I felt relieved when I finally slipped into Paulina's room. Yeah, you're cool, but you creep me the fuck out. It just looked like its owner, cute and tidy. A huge collection of vinyl records and a record player immediately caught my attention. The walls were adorned by framed photographs.
Дедушка тебя не сильно донимал?
Нет,
No,
он очень
I want to say that too.
интересный.
Небось, ты теперь знаешь все о своем имени.
I forced out a laugh. My eyes slid across the photos. A Sailor Moon poster. This cartoon is for girls. Everyone loves Sailor Moon. Transformers are way better. Drawing them is much more interesting, especially when they transform, when they change shape. Although Paulina has a 2x2 channel on her TV and she invites me to watch it together, I won't refuse. In the name of the moon, I shall punish you. A bit too old-fashioned, but I like it. Let's see what Polina has in her collection. Vinyl records from Melodia and some much rarer ones from Hugoton? A company in Yugoslavia. Rachmaninov? Seviridov? Verides? Please correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize. Arias performed by Hibla Gerzmava. Only classics. No Toto Cutugno. No Demis Roussos. I'm so sorry. She even has some bone music. Recordings made with an electro recorder over X-ray shots. The needle slides on the picture of someone's ribs and you hear David Oistrakh playing a violin. A Kuzbas piano. Not a speck of dust on the cover. This is the place where she practices. Let's see what pieces she has in her music sheets. Handel's Caprico Soul Minor. Looks like the name of a pizza Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would eat. Meanwhile, I won't even be able to play a flea waltz.
А это твои родители?
Paulina looked down.
Да. Они погибли много лет назад. Я их практически не помню.
О,
I felt like a total idiot. I could have guessed Paulina was an orphan.
мне очень жаль.
Спасибо. Дедушка воспитывал меня как родную дочь. Никогда не устану благодарить его.
Представляю, каково тебе пришлось.
Paulina flashed me a sad smile and brushed off a mischievous lock of hair off her face.
Давай не будем о грустном. Познакомься с Джоанной.
I bent down to take a better look at the cat that was snuggled up beside the radiator. Oh, look at you.
Привет, Джоанна.
The cat hid her tail on the radiator's fins and hissed, showing her fangs.
Прости, она не особо дружелюбна.
К такой реакции я привык. Что за имя, Джоанна?
Тебе не надоело говорить про имена? Джоанна из сериала «Элена, ребята». Смотрел?
Helen and the Boys. A French TV series targeted at teenagers that was broadcasted all over Europe, including most Eastern European countries in the middle of the 1990s. I snorted.
Это для девочек.
Мой, подумаешь, я вот и трансформеров смотрю.
Да ладно, кто твой любимчик?
Ты меня проверяешь? Допустим, Мегатрон.
Ага, а говорила, что не любишь плохих парней.
Да, но вот ему удалось растопить мое сердечко.
Polina grabbed at her chest in a comical manner. Polina sat down on the couch and fixed the bedspread.
Чем займемся?
Her pose and playful gaze hypnotized me. Dimmed lights helped create a special, exciting atmosphere inside the room. I felt a faint aroma of blackberry, but also something more elusive and captivating. At that moment, my usual embarrassment suddenly morphed into some unexplainable vigor. I wanted to show off and brag and to do everything in my power to keep Paulina's gaze fixed on me for as long as possible. I imagined myself to be like Agent 007, ready to seduce another femme fatale with his stunning looks. As if mimicking the hero of spy action movies, I crossed my hands on my chest and, with a mysterious smile on my face, decided to lean against the wall. I thought myself to be quite charming at that particular moment. Yet a clanking sound stopped me from enjoying this graceful pose. I failed to notice an open piano and sat down right in the middle of its keys.
А!
I had lost all of my charms after almost reaching the ceiling in one scared jump, followed by the instrument's lid slamming shut with a bang. At the same time, a frightened Joanna jumped off the chair. The cat rushed up the curtain and dashed across the wall to the safety of the wardrobe's top, ripping out thin slices of wallpaper along the way. Oh, the poster! Pieces of a torn-up Sailor Moon poster that, by pure chance, happened to be in the way of the scared animal, fell to my feet. Judging from the look on Paulina's face, she really liked that poster.
Прости, я не хотел.
She closed her eyes, her lips twisted and forehead wrinkled. It seemed like Paulina was about to scream or cry, but she just sighed and spoke in a calm voice.
Не беда. Нет такой поломки, которую нельзя починить с помощью изоленты. Ну, в этом случае с помощью скотча. Давай, помогай.
A puzzle game, this is nice. The last piece fell in its place, and it seemed like the room's harmony was restored along with the poster.
Это же персонаж из Sailor Moon? Sailor Юпитер или как там ее?
Да нет же, это Сейлор Сатурн. Ее зовут Хатару. Она воин разрушения, который вместо того, чтобы уничтожить мир, спасла его. Мне она всегда больше всех нравилась. Вот. А еще у нее раздвоение личности, представляешь? По крайней мере, было. Джоанна порвала ее на дюжину личностей, не меньше.
I glanced at Paulina and inquired in a soft voice.
Расскажи, как проходят твои вечера.
Paulina shrugged and looked at me as if bored.
Смотрю телевизор или играю дедушке на скрипке. Он планирует сделать из меня Давида Ойстраха.
David Oistrakh, one of the most prominent Russian violinists. He was also well known for his musical conductor skills, earning the rank of master in that field. Died from a heart stroke hours after one of his concerts.
Кого?
Скрипач был такой великий.
А ты что же, сама не хочешь играть?
Почему? Хочу. Это мой шанс уехать в город и начать нормальную жизнь. Гастролировать по странам, знакомиться с новыми людьми.
I felt a sting of stupid jealousy from her words.
Поиграешь для меня?
Ты точно этого хочешь?
Очень.
Хорошо. Только учти, я сегодня не в форме.
She procured the violin from its case. The polished frame glimmered in the lamplight.
Это необычная скрипка. Ее смастерил в 17 веке скрипичных дел мастер Гварнери, а сам Ойстрах дал на ней первый концерт.
Она дорогая.
Ну, пару миллионов долларов стоит.
My jaw dropped. Paulina replied with laughter.
Видел бы ты свое лицо. Я шучу. Копейки она стоит. Если бы у меня была скрипка Гварнери, я бы жила в Москве.
А я и не повелся.
Конечно, конечно.
Polina took a proper playing pose and clutched the violin between her shoulder and jaw, then brought the bow to the strings.
Фа диез минор.
The bow slid across the strings, saturating the air inside the room with music. I sat on the windowsill, amazed at the melody's power. Paulina looked so graceful while playing. Her bow soared, it cut open space-time. Her slender fingers moved with inhuman speed. A phantom smile smoldered on the girl's lips. It felt like the music, that mysterious 5D minor, was akin to a gust of wind that found its way inside the house, bringing along the smells of the sea and faraway cities. And every new guest made it even more difficult to breathe for my enthralled self. The melody carried me up to the skies, bringing back memories of that night when I was jumping over the forest. But just like that, like everything good, it ended way too fast. Paulina froze for a moment, then lowered her hand and bowed. The waterfall of her fragrant hair swayed back and forth. I jumped up, clapping.
Браво! Кто это сочинил?
Роберт Шуман.
А вот кто теперь мой любимый композитор.
Во.
The second syllable turned into an incredulous cry when someone wailed under my foot. Joanna! I forgot all about the cat and all my excitement and ended up stepping on her tail. She didn't give me the time to apologize. Ah! Joanna crawled up my leg and clung to my thigh. Her sharp claws pierced my skin through the pants. Paulina came to my rescue by slapping the cat on the back of her head.
Джоанна! Гадость какая! Брысь!
The cat jumped on the wall rug and retreated from the room after opening the door with her paw. What? I winced when touching my thigh. It was probably quite scratched up. Paulina gave me a sympathetic hug.
Больно?
Да так, я сам виноват.
Ой, я ей покажу, как бросаться на моих гостей.
Ooh, God! I was worried less about the pain and more about the damage done to my clothes. My pants were riddled with tiny holes. Well, Mom sure will be happy about this. At the same time, Paulina's attention was flattering.
Твоя Джанна дама с характером.
Вы поладите. Если ты не умрешь от потери крови, конечно.
She turned around and searched the room with her eyes.
Где-то тут был йод.
Не обязательно.
Что значит не обязательно? Еще никто не умирал в моей спальне. И я хочу, чтобы так продолжалось впредь. Снимай пока штаны.
Eh? I imagined myself standing in front of Paulina in just my underwear. I imagined her bending down to treat my wounds. That fantasy scalded my mind like a hot steam.
Не надо, Полин, ну правда.
She didn't listen, just soaked a piece of cotton and brownish liquor from a small, strong-smelling bottle.
Пациент, я готова. Спускайте.
Серьезно, дома промою.
My reply erased a smile from her beautiful lips. A horizontal wrinkle ran across her nose bridge. She spoke in a voice with a tinge of capriciousness.
Перестань сопротивляться.
She rubbed my lower leg, then where my wound was.
Девочкам нельзя отказывать.
Polina took a bold step toward me and grabbed the buckle of my pants belt. I tried dodging, but to no avail. The girl was already behind me. She placed her fingers under the belt and tried to pull down my pants.
Ах ты ж...
She giggled.
А?
I spun around and Polina pressed her body into mine, bursting with laughter. She sank her teeth into my arm so slightly and tugged on the belt. I sat back, stumbled upon the couch and sprawled on the soft surface. Polina landed on top of me. Her hair covered my face and tickled my nostrils. I felt the vibrations coming from Paulina's chest. She was laughing. I also felt the chilly draft with the exposed skin of my thighs. She managed to pull down my pants after all. I lay underneath her partially naked, dying from embarrassment. Paulina pulled away. Her laughter died down. She blew a lock of hair from her face and looked me straight in the eye. Then pressed her small fist into her cheek and measured my face with a thoughtful glance.
Ты чего?
Ничего. Красивый ты.
Скажешь тоже.
Честно-честно. И знаешь, мне кажется, что я все эти годы ждала, когда ты в поселок приедешь.
My heart was thumping in a crazy rhythm. I felt it under my ribs, and my temples, all over my body. I completely forgot that I was lying underneath her without my pants on, rubbing my bare thigh against her leg.
Мне хорошо с тобой.
И мне.
My man.
Я встретила человека, который меня понимает. Это дороже скрипки Гварнери.
I shifted my gaze to her lips. They were so close that I could see even the tiniest of wrinkles on their surface, just as I parched my own lips. Kiss her, dude. My man. My man. Paulina lowered her eyelids. Eyelashes fluttered. Our lips touched. I felt dizzy as if I was falling into a bottomless pit. Every cell in my body sang in jubilation as if I was getting a taste of the most beautiful music, something even more perfect than Schumann's melody. And then I looked in the mirror, mounted on the wardrobe's door. It reflected a half-open door in the corridor's gut. Keratin was peeping at us through the crack. His grim face floated in the black waters of darkness. His eyes pierced me, much deeper and angrier than feline claws. After getting his cover blown, the old man drove back, away from the door, and dissolved into tarry shadows. I parted my lips from Paulina's, distraught. I had to interrupt our sweet kiss. You're no longer cruel, man. You just fell off the cool mountain and tumbled into creepy fucking bottomless horror. Paulina gave me a questioning look and spoke in a frustrated voice.
В чем дело?
I untangled myself from her, stood up trying to put my pants back on and fastened the belt on my third attempt.
Ни в чем. Я вспомнил просто. Пообещал маме вернуться к ужину.
Не уходи.
Полин, послушай.
Не уходи, Тош.
Her voice trembled. Silvery streams ran down her cheeks. I was taken completely by surprise. Paulina's mood shifted in an instant, just like topics in a grandpa's monologue. Still, her grandpa was old and weird, and she...
Забери меня с собой.
What?
Ты чего, Полин? Ну перестань.
I leaned into her, worried.
Ну хватит, правда. Все же хорошо.
Я здесь с ума сойду. Не знаю, руки на себя наложу.
What the fuck is happening?
Не говори так.
She flopped on the bed, face in her hands, sobs turned into stifled cries. I shuffled my feet, puzzled with no idea how to react.
Давай сбежим. Завтра же соберем вещи и уедем в город.
Нам по 12 лет.
И что? Тебе нравится жить в хибаре у леса? А мне, думаешь, по нраву гнить, заточенный в 4 стенах?
Her back arched, her small fist pummeled the couch.
Если ты мужчина, уведи меня из этого места.
What the fuck? You need to leave, my inner voice blurted out. I couldn't help but agree.
Прости, тебе надо отдохнуть. Поговорим позже.
I went to the corridor, mumbling. I might have acted like a coward, but I couldn't handle her fit of hysteria anymore. I put on my coat, shoved my feet down my boots. I stared at the darkness. A imagining a man-eating bear. I could hear Paulina's cries coming from the other side of the wall while something was squeaking its way toward me. The wheelchair stopped 7 feet away, on the border between light and darkness.
Уходишь так быстро?
I replied in a mumbling voice while tying my shoes.
Простите, мама будет беспокоиться.
Ты знаешь настоящее имя своей матери? Петров Антон.
What the fuck? Shadows swirled behind that keratin. I craved to leave this eerie place as soon as possible.
Нет, простите.
I started apologizing left and right, anxious.
Почему плачет Полина? Что случилось?
Metal teeth shined in the dark.
Пойдем на кухню. Чай пить будем. Я тортик разрезал.
Меня ждут.
Подождут и перестанут. Ну, пойдем, пойдем.
He let out a dissatisfied sob. I finally managed to fix the shoelaces, so I sprang to my feet. The old man kept a strenuous smile on his face. I turned my back on him. My fingers struggled with the lock.
Скарлы, скарлы!
I'll be forced to stay. Driven over by a wheelchair, dragged away.
Скарлы, скарлы!
The door opened, letting chilly air inside the stuffy corridor.
Как твое настоящее имя?
До свидания.
I flew to the porch, to the trail that snaked between the houses. While I was at Paulina's place, darkness had shrouded the village with its crow-like wings. The howling wind made it alive, conscious, lamplight, firmly embedded into the night, emanated a faint glow. I wiped my forehead. What was that? Why did Paulina throw such a tantrum? And the old man was and the old man who was peeping at us? No wonder she wanted to run away so badly. As soon as I remembered Keratin's metal teeth, goosebumps started running all over my skin. Ah, shit. I shuddered and looked around. A fuzzy silhouette appeared near the fence.
Кто здесь?
A person stepped toward me, into the ring of light. My soul almost left my body. I recognized Romka. His cheeks were wet, and his eyes reddened. He cried while hiding in the dark.
Ну, привет. Разве я не предупреждал тебя, а? Разве не говорил, что убью, если увижу рядом с ней?
Bro, you gotta fucking chill, man. Everybody in this fucking town gotta fucking chill, bro. I heard a click, saw the shine of a butterfly knife. Rama's bloodless lips stretched out in a scary grimace. His pupils glinted like a pair of coins.
Ром, убери нож.
Yeah, dude.
Думаешь, я псих? Я покажу тебе, что делают психи.
Рома,
I backtracked, afraid of turning my defenseless shoulder blades toward him. Romka advanced toward him, scowling.
Жалкий ублюдок!
White bubbles formed at the edges of his mouth. Dude, are you fucking rabid? Fucking crazy, dude. He wiped off his face with a jerky motion, smearing the tears all over his cheeks even more. His eyes glazed over with a fog of hatred. The steel butterfly started a slow upward move, but then slowly dove toward me as if somebody fast-forwarded the tape. Romka lunged at me. His face was the color of wax, and his eyes had a shine of phosphorus to them. I felt his tackle and lowered my eyes. The butterfly was fake. It probably came from the prank shop, the type of toy where the blade retracts into the handle. I think you stabbed me, bro. But then I realized I was wrong, that the reason that the blade was invisible to me was because it was plunged into my chest. It's completely inside me, right between my ribs. Cold, sharp, and only then did pain hit me. Just like thunder that takes a sweet time to hit after the lightning. To my surprise, the pain wasn't exactly strong, but it felt uncomfortable, sinking, reverberating in the back of my head. I grabbed Romka's forearm. He ripped the knife out of me. A dashed line of blood followed it in slow motion. The skin on the bony frame of Romka's face stretched into a grotesque grimace, his jaws wide open with threads of saliva taut between his teeth. I wanted to ask him to stop, but words got stuck in my throat. The world tilted and shook. I fell to my knees. It was suddenly difficult to breathe, as if the air in my lungs turned into a viscous dough. Blood filled my mouth. It overflowed into the snow. As I couldn't hold my head straight anymore, I was forced to stare at the scarlet pool. Then I plopped face first into it. Blood warmed my cheeks. I'll just lie down for a bit and everything will be fine. It's okay. The doctors will patch me up. Romka grabbed from behind and flipped me around in one violent motion. I saw a twisted face and his fanatical eyes. Roma grabbed the butterfly knife with both hands, growled, and then brought the weapon down. Oh my God! Into my stomach. Pain consumed my consciousness. I couldn't move. I couldn't even shut my eyes, even with all the hot droplets on my pupils. The knife flew up, then pierced some sort of bubble inside of me. Up and down, and up again. Roma screamed and stabbed. He screamed and sliced. Blood splashed in my face as it streamed upward in white scarlet stripes. Dozens of little fires sparked up in my head, only to die out one after another in the next moment. Parts of my brain where those weird fireflies died sank into darkness. Romka's silhouette was now blurry. My eyes stopped following the knife. I looked up. My vision slid across my killer's blood-soaked face, up toward the darkening sky. In the most fleeting of moments, I saw the life I won't be able to live. A myriad of lost opportunities. As the sole spectator in this empty movie theater, I stared at the screen. I saw Oya growing up without me. I saw her future kids that I will never hold in my arms. My aging parents living in the house at the edge of the forest. I saw the bright galleries exhibition halls, the walls which will never be adorned by my paintings. The pavements of cities I will never visit. The 21st century that I will not welcome. And the universe of people and things that were now irretrievably lost for me. I saw a blinding, scorching light. I had no idea if it was in the sky or under my lowering eyelids. The knife just kept on stabbing, but the pain was gone. My body no longer mattered. The movie was over. I disappeared into the bottomless void. I don't know how to feel about this. That's fucked up. The police have arrested a teenager who had stabbed one of his peers during an altercation. A fight broke out between two students from the 6th grade that resulted in one of them inflicting more than 10 stab wounds on the other using a butterfly knife. The victim was then rushed to a hospital where he unfortunately died from blood loss. The teen suspect was taken to a police station for questioning, and he later confessed to the crime. The police have opened criminal proceedings on one charge of first-degree murder. There's also an investigation planned to the school's principal and his educational work deputy to establish that one of their students freely carrying a dangerous knife constitutes criminal negligence on their part. Detectives and forensic specialists are still working at the crime scene. Fucking hell, dude. What? I just don't know how to feel right now. What the fuck? Not our boy. What the fuck? Try something else.
Если для тебя это так важно...
We're gonna take it from her this time. See if that changes anything. Oh, that. Oh yeah, I accidentally played through it already. You gotta step, that's okay. Ready to roll through this one already. I did take it before, just to see what it would change, if it would change the ending at all.
развенчать. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе. Крепко-накрепко вломить.
Will I still die? The puzzle thing. Oh my god. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. There we go. Oh shit! Fuck yes! Oh my god, thank god. The claw amulet I got from Paulina saved me once again. Oh my god, our boy did not die. It felt like time ground to a halt, and both Romka and his dangerous knife and I were frozen in it like insects inside an amber shard. Run, my inner sick voice signaled to me. Save your skin!
Жалкий грязный ублюдок!
And then he howled. He hurled his despaired voice upward toward the stars. Romka put the handle into his mouth like a cigar, clutched it in his teeth. The blade pointed outward like a steel claw. Then he fell on all fours. His shadow took on the shape of an angry beast. Saliva dripped to the snow. Romka went completely mad. He roared and lunged at me, using all four of his limbs to jump. Run! Oh shit! I ran without looking. My boots sank in the snow. The wooden fence flew past me. The noise was so overwhelming that I felt like some beast, and not a boy my age, was chasing me. A horrifyingly huge beast. The wind whipped my face, stinging it like nettle leaves. I was suffocating. A tractor stood around the corner, but I couldn't see its driver anywhere. Something agile jumped over the trail and landed some distance away from me. The snowy barricade stood in my way. I climbed it, slid down, and rushed into the back alley. Lamplight shivered in a panic. I noticed the village shop and ran toward it. Then grabbed the doorknob. Locked. The back alley was reflected in the window. Something huge and terrifying was closing in on me from its depths, shrouded in a snowstorm akin to a burial gown. Oh shit! I ran to the cleared out strip of asphalt. Dogs in the front yard didn't bark. They just whimpered sheepishly. I turned around the last house and ran out of the village. The forest towered over me like a giant black monolith. I had a choice. Either I run to the clearing while I'll be sitting duck, or I'll run straight through the forest with its windfall and ravines. I chose the second option. I jumped to the side. My legs slipped on a patch of ice. I fell into a ravine. Convulsing, I struggled to turn on my back and started crawling away. Expecting Romka to appear at the top at any moment. An inhuman roar swept across the village, drilling into my ears. A minute passed, then another one. I trembled, staring at the ravine's edge, into the inky brush strokes of pines, into their approaching shadow. The boy in a wolf's mask appeared from the forest and stopped in front of me. What? He unclenched his fist, and a butterfly knife fell to the snow.
Тебе ничего не угрожает. Мы же говорили.
I stood up, barely able to believe my eyes. The wolf boy waved his hand toward the clearing.
Все в порядке. Иди.
I was too scared to ask questions. So I just walked away in silence, stumbling among the swaying trees, trying not to think about the lumps of darkness that were seeing me off, hiding in the bushes. And at that moment, I had no idea what was actually waiting for me in the place I mistakenly called home. The front door was open and swayed slightly in the wind. It felt like my skin was getting covered in rime. I clenched my fists. Darkness oozed into the hallway, and snowflakes floated inside along with it, landing softly on the rug, like a pack of vultures that sense their food. I stepped into the doorway with the utmost caution. For a moment, I thought I heard someone talking in the kitchen, but it turned out to be a radio broadcast.
Циклон, о котором мы предупреждали, движется к региону. Завтра синоптики обещают ветер с порывами до 15 метров. МЧС призвала жителей соблюдать меры предосторожности. Дороги перекрыты. Холодная воздушная масса арктического происхождения несет с собой буран.
I heard voices coming from the upper floor, too. The staircase let out a long squeak. I took one step, yet my heart managed to beat 6 or 7 times in the meantime. The door to my parents' bedroom was ajar. A shadow play unfolded inside a light spot. Black silhouettes were performing a dance of hatred. Mom hissed at Dad, her wrists flying toward the ceiling, and he towered over her, his hands crossed on his huge chest.
Мы все в опасности. И все из-за тебя. И не ври, ты видел его в поселке. Он вычислил, где мы живем.
Это был не он.
Я читала в газетах, на что способны твои дружки.
I ran toward my bedroom. My parents were in the middle of another quarrel where they showered each other with mutual accusations. Dad let out a low beast-like roar.
Пусть они прекратят!
Oya stood in the corridor, pressing her little palms against hers. I chased away the illusion where my sister was getting stabbed to death by Romka for my sins. Her face, swollen from crying, made my skin freeze, and almost managed to push the image of old Keratin smirking and Gratifian jumping on all four, Romka jumping on all fours out of my mind.
Что случилось?
Они разведутся!
I hugged my sister and held her tight. My tongue refused to listen to my commands and to look for excuses. It felt like the screams were coming from every direction, right and left, up and down, splitting my head apart. Swear words rained down on us, so we covered our heads with our hands, like refugees running from a bombing.
Я хочу уйти!
В свою комнату?
Нет! Дальше! Отведи меня в Небыляндию! Ты обещал!
I carefully unglued Olia's hands from her ears and led her away from the room with our parents, which was vibrating with malice.
Из-за тебя!
Ради кого?
In moments like these, I despise them more than they despise each other. I bolted down the door to my room and leaned against it. My knees gave way.
Почему тебя не было так долго?
Я был в гостях у одних странных людей.
Они тоже разводятся?
Не думаю.
Something hit the window's ledge on the outside. Oh, come on, dude. Olia shuddered and shifted her gaze towards it. Another small snowball smacked into the window's frame.
Ты ждешь кого-то?
I didn't reply. Instead, I let go of her wrist. Oya wept in fear. I crossed the room, wincing from every shout coming from my parents. I could hear plates getting smashed now. They must have moved their argument to the kitchen. I flung the curtains and the window open. Hootie, Teddy, Wolfie, and most importantly, the charming Alyssa stood outside, waving at us. Oya gasped when she saw the owl girl.
Я же говорила!
Gasped.
Да, знаю. Я тебе всегда верил.
Кто они?
Her fearful voice also had some curiosity mixed in.
Чтобы в такую погоду дома сидеть, надо быть очень скучными детьми.
У нас столько игр неигранных.
Давайте только не во все игры играть, а то у меня лапка болит. Вот чуть-чуть, и потом отдохнем.
Друзья!
Выходите скорее, играть и танцевать!
My heart started beating faster as soon as I saw Alyssa, and my inner voice practically screamed, "She's here! She's finally here!"
Они знают, как попасть в Небыляндию?
I entertained that possibility, looking at the animal kids.
Может быть, пойдем и узнаем.
The silhouettes of my forest friends promised to free us from sadness, anger, and nightly horrors. I made sure that Oya wore warm clothes. Will this change the ending? Mom barked at Dad like a wild beast from that show with Nikolai Drozdov. We sneaked past the rumbling kitchen into the snowfall outside. Alyssa ran up to me and hugged me tight, poking her cold nose into my neck.
Как же долго! Пока мы вас, домоседов, ждали, то чуть не состарились.
She pressed her body into me even harder.
Оказывается, ждать так утомительно. Фу, дайте хоть минуточку в себя прийти.
Однажды я тоже долго собиралась. А когда закончила, то и вовсе забыла куда.
Oya looked at the owl with suspicion. All the other animals, as if on cue, stopped fooling around and stared at Oya in amazement.
Это же та девочка, что не хотела со мной.
We can skip all these. And that's after everything I saw at Paulina's house. Every time I met Alyssa, it felt like I crossed the river and the sound of flowing water suppressed all my negative thoughts.
Какие у вас красивые костюмы!
The fox girl let go of me and squatted beside Oya.
О, какая очаровашка! Антоша, почему ты прятал от нас это милое создание раньше?
I can skip this too. I remembered Romka while listening to their childish conversation. What's in the glossary now? Grandpa Frost, a legendary figure to Santa Claus hailing from Slavic mythology. He's often depicted wearing a heel-length fur coat and red or blue, a semi-round fur hat, and a pair of Russian traditional winter footwear, valinki. His face is adorned by a long white beard, and he walks with a long magic stick. He's said to bring presents to well-behaving children on the New Year's Eve. How he screamed at the top of his lungs while chasing me, mere minutes before Wolfie appeared.
Что случилось с Ромкой?
Ah, shit. Oh, shit.
Поверь, он в порядке.
Жив-здоров твой Ромка. Только такой вредина, как он, вряд ли получит от Деда Мороза подарок. Максимум горсть угля.
Ну или по шапке.
They ate him. Teddy shook his bandaged paw in a comically threatening manner, and the animal kids all burst out laughing in unison. They ate him. They fucking ate him. They fucking ate Romka. Oh my god, this is about to be bad. The anxiousness I felt a moment ago now felt fleeting, distant. Alyssa dashed away, wiggling her red tail like a torch's flame. Oya went after her without thinking and laughed after taking another candy out of the snow pile.
Вы такие бодрые, на вас аж смотреть противно.
I can skip this. We're gonna refuse this one. I guess, regardless, it's going to end the same way. I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, it doesn't matter. When episode 5 comes out, we're going to have to start over anyway. But thank you for stopping by and watching this episode of Tiny Bunny. It was very, very curious to see what they did with this particular part of the story. I'm surprised if you don't take that, just having that on its own could end your episode early, and then you see the series about how Romka ends up going to jail. But I honestly think they ate him. They ate Romka. So like whatever. Or maybe he lost his mind and probably snapped out of it when he realized that these creatures are not fucking around. Yeah, man, that was weird, man. Like, was her grandpa abusing her and it just drove her mad? That's why he was looking at him all weird and shit. Like, wow, man, fucking Christ, that didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to be. Everything was like literally fucking like dope, but it's worse. Like you were cheering for. I was really cheering for Anton to get the girl, and like now she's like really secretly unstable at home, and her grandpa's like fucking weird. Like, wow, dude. And then like all of a sudden, like you think everything's going good, and then he says it's time for me to go home because the grandpa kind of creeped him out a bit. And then she starts like losing her freaking mind. And he's like, dude, I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It was just really awkward. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tiny Bunny. Please hit that like and subscribe button for more content. I'm definitely looking forward to Scarlet Hollow because I want to see how my character's story ends. I love narrating that, even though there's not a whole lot of voices. It's fine. I definitely enjoy it. But yeah, man, that's wow. I don't know how to feel about the whole Paulina thing. Wow. Like it. I'm gonna have to take a break. But other than that, yeah, definitely. Definitely. If you're interested in playing the game, look into it. But take care and God bless. Ciao.